let's talk about the 90-10 rule of customer success and customer onboarding. Now, as you may know, I'm a whitewater kayaker, and there's a 90-10 rule of kayaking, which declares that 90% of kayaking is mental and the other 10% is in your head. Now, that's a joke. But what I've found is that no one ever talks about the mental side of kayaking. It's for me at least, it's really scary, it's stressful, it's challenging, it's exciting, it's adrenalizing. And I've had many instructors over the years, and I've only had one actually that talked about the fear and addressing that side of things. There's also a 90-10 rule of customer success and customer onboarding. The reality is that in B2B technology, only about 10% of customer success is the technology, and 90% is mental. That 10%, especially during onboarding, includes the product integrations, implementation, configurations, the data migrations, the data conversions, and the go live. That's all the technical side of things. But 90% is mental. It's about the change management. It's about the behavioral change. And anytime we are changing our behavior, we need to look at the mental and the emotional side. And I heard Sue Nabeth Moore from Success Change talk about this in a great podcast with Dean Colegate. So even though we think it's the other way around, it's the human element that needs to come first. And the reality is that about 70% of digital transformations fail. They fall short of their objectives because companies are not addressing this mental and emotional component that is huge. In fact, I just recently talked with a B2B technology solution, and they said that their product is great, it's sophisticated, but the users, these are videographers and film producers, they're not adopting it. They're used to capturing everything on paper and spreadsheets. So they're really struggling with resistance and adoption. So that's where we need to really address change management. We need to address the why, what, and how. And there's many change management models, but one that Sue talked about in the podcast and that I've used with companies is the ADKAR approach. Now, ADKAR stands for awareness, desire, knowledge, ability, and reinforcement. And if you take those 5 components in mind as you're rolling out changes to companies, to your customers, to their users, then you can have a profound impact and increase your likelihood of a successful implementation and successful adoption and ongoing renewals. So here's an example. I've been working with a company that provides practice management software for dentists, for dental practices. And so a simple thing we did was we created 5 emails, one for each of those stages, where the doctor would send out the email to their team to, one, drive awareness of, hey, we've got this new solution coming, to help build desire, to help them learn, with the knowledge and the ability, those are 4, to how they're going to get enabled, how they're going to drive adoption, and then 5, reinforcement, and really helping to change the mindset with the why, the what, and the how, so that the teams are ready. They're going through a whole change journey, and then they're ready to adopt your solution with their heads and hearts and minds. So remember, you need to look at the users, the personas, the jobs to be done if you really want to drive adoption and loyalty with your customers. To learn more, listen to the podcast with Dean and Sue. It's the Just One Customer Success thing about change management. And let me know how I can help your customers adopt and thrive with your solution.